Hi there. So in this video, we're gonna create a quiz app. So let's just create a new Android Studio project. And then let's choose the empty activity next. And then here we should specify the name of our application. So let's name it as quiz app. And the package name, the save location path. So I'm gonna change the save location path to the Android Studio projects that I have created in another folder. So make sure that when you change the location path, you actually put the quiz app after the final slash here. So it's gonna create a new folder or a separate folder for your application. Otherwise, you're gonna wind up with some problems. So here I changed the location path to the Android Studio projects. Now I'm gonna put a slash, and now I'm gonna just copy the name of the application and put the name here. So here for the language, choose Java, and the minimum API level should be Android 4.1 Jelly Bean. So I'm gonna choose the API 16 for this application. So now you can see that we are going to target 99.6% of devices, approximately. And now just click on finish. So now the project is ready. And now I'm just gonna close the main activity and the activity underline main.xml. And let's go inside this project pane and go ahead and open the rest folder and then the values folder, and then click on the strings.xml file. So here we're gonna put our strings resources, and I'm gonna put all the questions and all the text that I want to show to the user of the application. So this is the best way to use the strings. It's not recommended to use the hard-coded strings for the text of our text views, buttons, or anything else. It's better to use the resources, the string resources, and then later, when we need these texts, we can just refer to these names. For example, if I want to refer to the name of the application, I don't have to write the quiz app again. I just need to refer to this app name that you can see here, the name of this string resource. So I'm just gonna paste some string resources here. So first, let me show you how you can create a string resource. So just open a tag and then type in here string, and then you need to specify a name. So I'm gonna name it as my laptop name. Okay, and then just put a closing tag here. So it's gonna put the closing tag separately for you. And then inside the starting tag or the ending tag, between these two tags, I can put my value here. So I'm gonna enter, for example, MacBook Pro. That's it. Now, when I want to refer to the name of my laptop, I just need to refer to this name, to this string resource name, my laptop name. So hopefully that makes sense. So here are the string resources that I pasted here. So we've got the correct text, incorrect text, and these are the values, correct, incorrect, the first score text, correct, toast message, and so on. Now take a look at these questions. These are the questions that we are going to use in our application. So for the name, I used Q and then the number of that question. So for example, question 1 is Q1 until Q10. And here are the questions. So I got the questions from the snapple.com. So let me show you the website first. So here it is, the snapple.com. Here we've got some facts, and I'm not 100% sure that whether these facts are true or not. But we can use them, we can use these facts in our application, and we can accidentally and just randomly determine whether they are true or not. But if you want to, you can also research about these facts and make sure that they are true. And also, these facts are a great conversation starter. So if you wanna start a conversation with one of your friends or a stranger, this is a good way to just start a conversation using one of these facts and asking them whether these facts are true or not. Okay, so now let's go back to our application. So here it is, the questions that I used. And here you can see that the format is different here. So for example, if you want to use an apostrophe, you must use a backward slash before the apostrophe and then use the letter after the apostrophe, okay? So whenever you want to use a apostrophe, you must put the backward slash before the apostrophe. And also, if you want to use quotes inside your text, then it is important that you put a backward slash before the first quote and then the text inside the quote, and then another backward slash after the text, and then the ending quote. So the reason that we are using this format is that we must let the compiler know that these are the texts. Otherwise, the compiler won't think that we are using texts, and these special characters are translated as something else, something that we do not expect. So now let's go ahead and design the application. So just go ahead and open your project pane, and then go ahead and open the rest folder, layout activity underline main.xml. So here, let's just delete this hello world. Now let's switch to the text app. So it seems that I just deleted the constraint. I just need to select the hello world again and then press on the delete key on my keyboard. So now it is deleted. So let's switch to the text tab and let's change this constraint layout to a linear layout. So I'm going to change it to linear layout, and I'm going to add another attribute to this linear layout, an attribute that is specifically dedicated to this linear layout, and it is called orientation. So let's set the orientation to be vertical, and then let's create a separate closing tag for this linear layout. So I'm just going to delete this tag, and I'm going to put this closing tag here. Now we've got this linear layout. So let's switch to the design tab. So let's add the question text. So let's add a text view to our linear layout. I can either add it to this component tree, to this linear layout vertical, or I can add it to this design view and just drop it here. So here it is, our text view. Now I want the text of this text view to be centered horizontally. So just select this text view, and then here inside this attribute section, search for gravity. Or you can just switch to the text tab, and then here for this text view, just enter gravity, and then select this Android : gravity attribute, and choose center horizontal. And if you switch to the design tab, now you can see that the text is centered horizontally inside this text view. And the reason for that is that, notice that the layout width of this text view here inside this attribute section is match parent. So because of that, I can center this text center horizontally inside a parent, which is this text view. Remember, a text view is a container for a text. So this is going to be our question text view. So let's change the ID of this text view to be txt question. And then press on enter key on your keyboard. Next, we need to have a progress bar that is going to show the progress of the quiz. So here inside the palette section, just search for progress, and you can find the progress bar here. So again, you can either add it to this design view or this linear layout. Make sure to put it below this txt question, or you can just switch to the text tab and just below this text view, open a tag and search for progress bar. So here, notice that we've got this progress bar, and we've got some attributes that we must specify for this component. The layout width. So I'm going to set the layout width to be match parent and the layout height to be wrap content. So let's also give an ID to this progress bar, @ plus ID slash, and the ID is going to be, for example, quiz progress bar or PB. So let's close or self-close this progress bar. So I'm just gonna put a slash here, and the Android Studio is going to self-close this progress bar for me. So if you switch to the design tab, you can see this progress bar below this text view. So the next component that we need to add is another text view, because we want to show how many questions actually are remaining. So I'm gonna select this text view, and I'm gonna put it here below this quiz progress bar inside this linear layout, and I'm gonna drop it here. So again, I'm gonna center horizontal this the text of this text view. So search for gravity, and then here click on this flag of this gravity, this flag image, and then just choose a center horizontal, and then click on apply. So now let's give this text view an ID. So here I'm just gonna enter the ID txt remaining questions or txt quiz stats. And then we need to add the next component. Let's add 2 buttons below this txt quiz stats. So just select this button here and just put it here below this txt quiz stats. And let's add another button here. So the first button should be named as the true button. And the second button should be named as the wrong button. Okay, so here let's give an ID to this true button. So I'm gonna name it as btn true. And let's select this wrong button and choose btn wrong. And then let's change the background color of these buttons. So for this true button, let's search for the background attribute, and I'm gonna change the background color to be blue. So I'm gonna use a hexadecimal color. So I'm gonna put the hashtag. We have the RGB, right? Red, green, blue. So I'm gonna put 0000 and 99 or FF for the blue, okay? And then for the wrong button, I'm gonna set the background color to be red. So hashtag RGB. R stands for red. So FF0000 and then press on enter key on your keyboard. So it seems that I have set a wrong text for this btn wrong. So I need to select this button and change the ID to be btn wrong. And I need to change the text of this button to be wrong button. Okay, so now let's change the text color of these 2 buttons to be white. So just select one of these buttons and you can hold the shift key on your keyboard and select both of them and then search for the text color. So here let's set the text color to be white. Hashtag FFF FFF and then press on enter key on your keyboard. So hopefully that makes sense. Now I'm going to give a weight to these components that I have inside this linear layout vertical. So just select all of these components that we have inside this linear layout vertical. You can just select one of them and hold down the shift key and select the last component in order to select all of these components. And just let's assign the value 0dp as the height of these components, because I want to specify the height based on the weight. So we have the layout weight attribute, and here let's just assume that the height of this linear layout is 5, and I want each component to take 1 part. As you can see, we have 5 components, right? So I'm gonna assign the value 1 to this layout weight, and I'm gonna press on enter key on my keyboard. So this is how the layout is designed. So now let's select this txt question and let's search for the gravity attribute, and instead of center horizontal, let's just select the center. So in this way, it's gonna center the text of this text view horizontally and vertically, and then click on apply. So now the text of this text view is centered horizontally and vertically. So let's select this true button and this wrong button, and then let's search for the text size attribute, and let's increase the text size to be, for example, 24 sp. So for the size of our texts, we need to use sp, and sp stands for scale independent pixels, and this is for the compatibility of our components to all of the devices with different qualities and resolutions. Another important thing is that I have chosen the wrong component for this progress here, this quiz progress bar. Let's search for a progress inside this palette section, and I want to add the progress bar horizontal. I don't want this one, but I have already added some attribute to this progress bar. So how can I change it? So just switch to the text tab and just find the progress bar here. So here we need to change the style of this progress bar. So I'm just gonna paste this style here. Just type in here style and then put this equal and then 2 double quotes. And then inside the double quotes, put this question mark, Android : ATTR. This ATTR stands for attribute / progress bar style horizontal. Now if you switch to the design tab, you can see that the style of our progress bar is changed to our progress bar horizontal. And finally, let's select this TXT question, and for the text size, let's enter 18 SP. And let's also select this TXT quiz stats, and for the text size, again 18 SP. So now I think it's good. So the design of our application is finished. In the next tutorial, we're gonna start coding our app.